Hello Year 4, in today's maths lesson we're going to be looking at multiplying three numbers. To start with, you have your daily fluency. This should take you about 4 minutes, so if you'd like to pause the video and make a start, off you go please. Fantastic, so let's look through the answers then. Number 1, 11 multiplied by 7. We were looking at our 11 times tables yesterday. The answer to this question is 77. Number 2, what is 9 multiplied by 0? Well, we know that when we multiply a number by 0, what is the product always going to be? 0, absolutely. So 9 multiplied by 0 is 0. Find the perimeter of the square, number 3. Well, we know that if it's a square, what does squares have in common? What is the rule of property of a square? Yes, all sides are the same length, which means what are these sides going to be here for? All of them. 4. We know then we can add them together and get the perimeter of 16. Fantastic. Next one then, number 4. 2 add 3 add 4. We can take this in sections and do 2 add 3 first. Can you tell me 2 add 3 please? 5, absolutely. Add the 4 on is 9. Great work. Finally then, number 5, 36 divided by 12. Now if you're still not secure on your 12s, that's okay. What you can do is use your place value counters, draw them out as you've got 36, find out how many 12s go into that, and the answer would be 3. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. Great work. So I want us to look at these arrays and have a go at thinking what multiplications are shown by these arrays. We know the first one, the blue cubes, show 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6. And the green array of cubes show 6 multiplied by 4, which is 24. Now, here I've got 4 groups of cubes. Now, can you pause the video and have a think about what these numbers are going to be if I try and fill it in? Pause the video, please. Off you go. Okay, so we know that we have 4 groups of 6, and that means there are 4 groups of 3 multiplied by 2. Now we could look at this another way, and what we could do is we could enter these blue cubes and make the green one too. And if we were to do that, we would be multiplying 3 things. We would be multiplying 3 by 2 by 4, because we needed 4 sets of those groups to make the green array. And that is the same as 6 multiplied by 4, which was our first array. And they are equal, they are the same. I would like you to have a go at filling in the missing numbers for this one. First work out the red array, then the yellow one, and then fill this bit out, exactly like we did with the last one. Can you pause the video, have a go, and resume when you've done that, please? Off you go. Okay, so what are the red cubes, the red counters representing then? So the red counters are representing 4 multiplied by 2, which gives us 8. And the yellow counters are representing 8 multiplied by 6, which gives us 48. Now down here we can see that there are several groups of these counters. But how many groups do we have? We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. How many are in each group? We've already worked that out. There are 6 groups of 8. Well done. So how many groups are there then? 6 groups of, what multiplication did we use to get this 8? We used 4 multiplied by 2. We could still also use these red cubes and make the yellow cube by adding the 6 on, by multiplying them on. So our new multiplication using 3 numbers would be 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6, giving us the same as 8 multiplied by 6. It's the same. I want you to pause this video in a moment and have a think about how many ways can you use all 3-digit cards to fill in the multiplication sentence. Pause the video and write down on a piece of paper your thoughts, please. Off you go. Okay, so you might have started first with your 2. You might have done 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3. You might have then done 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. Then you might have wanted to start with your 3. So you would have done 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5, and also 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 2. Finally, you might have done 5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, and 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. Now we want to see if the order really changes anything of the answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose 3 of them and we're going to find the answer to them. And exactly like we did with the addition, where we have 3 additions to complete in our first daily fluency, we're going to group them together. So we're going to start by doing the first one here, and we're going to take the 2 multiplied by 5, which gives us this 10. So our new multiplication is 10 multiplied by 3. Can anyone tell me 10 multiplied by 3? Well done, 30. So that's our first answer for the first one. But we've changed the way around a bit, so we're going to try this one. We're going to group them this time into 3 multiplied by 2. What is 3 multiplied by 2, please? 6, well done. So our new multiplication would be 6 multiplied by 5. And what is that, please, year 4? 30, fantastic. Finally, we've grouped it with 5 multiplied by 3. What is 5 multiplied by 3, please? 15. So our new multiplication would be 15 multiplied by 2, which is, please, 30. So it really goes to show that when we have 3 numbers, it doesn't actually matter which order we multiply them by. As long as they're the same numbers, we can do them in any order and it will give us the same answer. And that is called what, please? And we can swap them around and still get the same answer. Commutative law, well done. Now it really depends on how you group them, what is easiest for you to do first. And you can use your times tables to help you. And it's really up to you what method you prefer. Now, we want to work out if Tiny the Turtle is correct without calculating it. And this is what we can do. We've got 2 sums here, and they're asking us, is this one equal and is this one bigger than this one? Now what we can do is we can group them again. We can group them by looking at 4 multiplied by 2, which will give us 8 multiplied by 5. And we can see that 8 multiplied by 5 is already bigger than 4 multiplied by 7. So we know that. But we could check by grouping it the other way round. We could group it by grouping 2 multiplied by 5, which would give us 10. So that would be 4 multiplied by 10 is equal to 4 multiplied by 7. Now, can you give me a shake or a nod? Is that correct or incorrect? No. We know that 4 multiplied by 10 is bigger than 4 multiplied by 7, isn't it? So that one's wrong. He's wrong. The next one then, 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 2. I've chosen here to group 5 and my 2 because that's a number one that I know really well. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. So 4 multiplied by 10 is bigger than 4 multiplied by 9. You can also work it out if you want to, but you can actually just look at it, can't you? So can you give me a nod or a shake? Is 4 multiplied by 10 bigger than 4 multiplied by 9? Yes, it is. So Tiny the Turtle was right with the second one, but wrong with the top one. Well done, Year 4, if you spotted that. Super job. We've got one here. 8 multiplied by 6 is bigger than 2 multiplied by something multiplied by 4. We need to find this missing number, but we need to make it make sense. So what we can do first is we can get the 2 and the 4 and multiply them, and that makes 8. So now we've got 8 multiplied by 6 is larger than 8. But we need to have 8 multiplied by our missing number. So we know our missing number has to be smaller than 6 to make this work. 6 has to be larger than our missing number. So what numbers are smaller than 6? Can you say them out loud to the screen, please? Well done. We could have 5. I can hear some of you saying 4, 3, 2, 1, or even 0. Fantastic work. So it could be any of those that go in there. Our final task before you go on to your independent work, I want you to think of 3 numbers that could multiply to make 24. Can you pause the video and have a think, please? Off you go. Okay, so you might have started in a variety of ways, but let me show you how I would have started. So what I would first do is I would look at the 2 numbers that multiply together to make 24. And we call these factors. 2 factors to make the product of 24. So we can have 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. And those are all factors of 24. Now because we know that, we need 3 numbers. And we know that 1 multiplied by 24 is what, please? 24. We could start with the number 1 here, because we know that when we multiply 1 by a number, does the number change? No. So what we could do is we could use our 2 factors as well and pop them in there. Because what is 1 multiplied by 2? 2. And what is 2 multiplied by 12? 24. Well done. We could also use 3 and 8, and even 4 and 6. We could also do it another way though. We could start with the number 2. And if we know that 2 multiplied by 12 is 24, we know that this section here must be 12. So these 2 factors should be multiples of 12. They should be factors of 12. Can you tell me any numbers that are factors of 12? 2 numbers that we multiply to get 12? I can hear some good ones. You can have 2 and 6. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. 6 and 2, the other way round. 4 and 3, and 3 and 4. You might have had some different ones to me, but that's okay because there's lots of different ways to do it. Your task now is to complete the worksheets that you've got attached to this document. See you in our next lesson.